The bright lights of Saigon and the wide variety of facilities they symbolize are in sharp contrast to the isolation of many Army installations in South Vietnam, where Army Special Services must provide activities for the men's leisure hours. Special Services employs young American civilian men and women on one-year contracts to staff and operate the facilities and direct the varied programs. Coming in for a landing at Saigon, they get a panoramic view of the sprawling city. At Tan Son Nhut Airport, Carolyn Reed tells what they may expect to find.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about our clubs here and where they're located. We have 16 of them in country now, and we're opening more of them every month. I'd like you to meet some of our girls and let them tell you in their own words about their work and what they do, why they came to Vietnam.
Welcome to Happy Valley. Hi, I'm Judy Jenkins from Madison, Wisconsin. You're looking at the beautiful mountains which surround our valley, the Happy Valley, outside of Quy Nhon, Vietnam. I'd like to introduce Sergeant Marish, the first sergeant of the 444 Transportation Company. It's with his help and his commanding officer that has made our service club possible. And without his cooperation, we could not run our service club.
Judy, you sure have helped to build up the morale for our troops.
Thank you.
Bye.
We have the smallest service club in Vietnam, but in my opinion, it's the best. It's a very friendly little place. Everyone stops by for coffee. We are located in the center of the compound of the 8th Transportation Group. This is a very unique unit in Vietnam. It's the first time in military history that a transportation unit has had to send convoys through a combat zone. It means a lot for the men to be able to, after the end of the day, to come back home to their compound and come over to the service club and relax a little. The morale is very high here. We have many facilities for the men to relax with. We have a beautiful swimming pool, which is quite a unique thing to have in Vietnam, and a library and a craft shop, as well as our service club. We also have a beautiful chapel. This has been my home for 11 months. And to me, it's been the most fantastic experience of my life. Learning about the military, working closely with them, and feeling a real part of it. I feel just as much a part of Vietnam as any soldier here.
I'm Janine Aber from Eugene, Oregon.
I gotta get back to work.
Okay. This is a project that Ray and I have been working on. The other day, we went across the road, he with an M16 and I had a shovel, and we dug up the cactus and all these other bushes. We're just trying to add a bit of femininity to our club here in Vietnam. We have the picket fence, and we went out and gathered up all these rocks, and I laid out all the rocks. Ray's going to paint the fence, and just to bring a touch of home to our club.
But I just love the program. Whenever I ride in a Jeep or a deuce-and-a-half, I keep thinking of all the girls in the States who are missing out on this. Well, what I love about the Service Club program is you're working with a group of men who are, they're so real. They're just such a fine group. I know before I came into Special Services, I said that I'd be working with enlisted men in a service club, and some people tend to give a blanket classification to all the enlisted men because, you know, the actions of a field, which is so unfair, because I have never been shown as much respect and kindness as I was in Korea and as I am being shown here in Vietnam, and I'm really sincere when I say that.
My name's Marlena Lumeyer. I'm from Akron, Ohio. So I went to school in Lake Forest, Illinois, which is about an hour boat from Milwaukee and Chicago, right on the lake.
Good afternoon. We're here at the Pace Setter Service Club on Long Binh Post. This club has been open for about a year now. Today we're having a special program for the orphans of Tu Duc Orphanage, run by some Catholic nuns. There are about 130 children here, and
Oh, I don't know, maybe 45 GIs, enlisted soldiers, NCOs, and so forth. We're giving them games. We've already had one puppet show and some songs led. And we've got food to look forward to and a beanbag toss and so forth. Lots of the soldiers. Bobby, why don't you come over here? Many of the soldiers speak Vietnamese and know various things. This is Bobby. What company are you with?
I'm in E Company, Troop Command.
E Company, Troop Command. Bobby speaks excellent Vietnamese, and I think he'd like to lead us in some songs or something.
Why don't you tell them where you were before you sprained your ankle?
Yes, we just come back from down at the orphanage where all these children are from, and there are about 700 more of them back at the orphanage. They couldn't come today.
Oh, great. Let's go around and find out where all the orphans are doing. There we go. Ciao. Hey, clown. This is Hearst, our friendly clown from Never Never Land. He's playing Japanese clown right now. Hearst, why don't you tell him where you're from?
I'm from Michigan.
From Michigan. Where do you work here at Long Bend Post?
I work in the 11th cab.
In the 11th cab. We have a professional, thank you. We have a professional clown with the 11th cab. That's pretty great.
I'm Bonnie Ray Coles from Idaho Falls, Idaho. I went to Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. Well, I graduated in May of '68, and I traveled to the United States. And then I came over to Vietnam. I decided I wanted to go to Vietnam because nobody else wanted to go there. And when I told them I was going to Vietnam, most of them just looked at me like I was crazy. So I stopped telling them I was going to Vietnam. I just told them I was going to be a recreation specialist for the government. And then when they pushed, then I'd tell them I was going to Vietnam. And normally those that really wanted to find out thought maybe it was a good idea. It's like I have 3 brothers, and all 3 of them teased me about coming over. They still say I'm a great conversational topic. We are the only 3 girls that are working in an area of all men. And we're the only ones that are actually out there. When we walk down to the Survey Officers' Mess, we walk past a whole string of barracks. And we're the only girls those fellows ever see. And you get a lot of whistles, you get a lot of things. If you like to do things that you've never done before, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here, and the rest of the girls, and you'd like to do something exciting, and you'd like to serve your country as well as yourself and your fellow men, then I would suggest you come to Vietnam and find out what you can do, because there are so many things to be done. As long as you don't think what Vietnam can do for me, you'll be very happy.
During a visit to one of his installations, the area commander talks about special services.
Well, I'm General Stone. I command the 4th Infantry Division. Camp Anari is about 10 miles south of Pleiku, reasonably isolated insofar as population is concerned. In the central highlands of Vietnam, 20 or 30 miles east of the Cambodian and the Laotian borders. Whatever off-duty pleasure our troops derive are those that we create for them ourselves. In this regard, the Special Services perform a major role in this base camp. We've just recently completed 2 swimming pools, and as soon as the monsoon is over, we get into the delightful 8 or 9 month weather period here in the Highlands, why they'll be in daily use. The service club was opened about 5 months ago. I would just assume that probably 30 or 40,000 people visited in the course of a month. An important part of our doing well is the special service activity. As you know, we have usually 3 girls assigned to the special service activity here. And I would think that it would be a real challenge. I would certainly suggest to my daughter, who's just graduated from college and teaching, that this would be a very worthwhile enterprise for them.
Ilikai East was the second club to be opened in Vietnam. Now a modern facility, it started as a little straw roof shack for the primarily Hawaiian units stationed here at that time. Today, its wide choice of activities include the Miss America contest, in which the soldiers may vote for photographs of the actual contestants back home. Men picking the winner receive prizes. The comfort and diversions of the club fill a deep need for many of the men. There is no substitute for the conversation or the sympathetic interest of a girl from the States. It's as close to home as you can get in Vietnam. A fast action game here is just as exciting as in the family recreation room back home. In the heat of the contest, perhaps the two places become one. For those who have relaxed to the extent of oblivion, there is a friendly reminder to make it back to the barracks in time.
This is Dragon Mountain Service Club, one of the largest in Vietnam. I'm Bunny Revere from Minnesota. This is Candy Coggins from Virginia, one of our newcomers. In front of the club, you can see we've tried almost everything. Grass, a tree. I missed the grass. Where is it? Oh, and the head. Let's go inside the club and see what's happening. Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
The ping pong tables are kept very busy during the day and the evening as long as we have ping pong balls. And so frequently we have to hide a few ping pong balls for our tournaments on weekends. The card room is probably one of the more popular rooms. The fellows can come in, drop in at the desk, and ask for partners and cards, and they head over to the card room, probably spend the afternoon or the evening playing bid whist or pinochle. Ah, here we are at the pool room. This is probably one of the most popular rooms and the most crowded.
Perhaps the most popular of all activities are the special parties organized by the girls for different occasions.
Good evening. Welcome to Dragon Mountain Service Club. And tonight we're having a San Francisco Golden Gate Hail and Farewell Party. Now, how many of you are from San Francisco? Well, I know you're from San Francisco and you're not even listening. San Francisco? Okay, that's close enough. First of all, we've got a few toss-out questions concerning either bridges or the area around San Francisco. When was San Francisco founded and by whom? Just raise your hand when you think you know.
1875 by the Russians.
All right, now this is easy. It is the home of what National League baseball team? Okay. Troy, all right. What two streets have become well known as a result of the, quote, hippie, unquote, movement? You're right. You're all hippies, I can tell. You know, we've got a USO show coming at 8:30. Ron Swoboda from the New York Mets, Larry Jackson from the Phillies, and Bing Devine from the Cardinals. Got some Cardinal fans. Okay, Sue's going to take over our program now with fortune fishing.
Good evening, men. How many of you out there would like to go fishing? Okay, why don't about 6 of you step up on stage?
How about if you leave your gift set?
Okay? Somebody's fish is really jumping there. Hey, let's see what number 1 fisherman. What does it say? Bring your little note over here and let's see what it says. Okay, Sergeant? This note says, do 20 deep knee bends and fish again. Will you proceed to do your 20 deep knee bends? Okay, let's count them.
Occasionally, when security permits, we can go out to the mountain yard villages surrounding the base camp. Mountain yard villages are really unique. The people are much more primitive than the Vietnamese people, and yet their camps are very neat. You also find that they dress much differently than the Vietnamese people. However, this village is unique since it's close to a military situation, and you'll find GI clothing on the children, the women, and the men.
Expanding facilities include the construction of new service clubs. The recreation specialists follow the work with close interest as they plan the utilization of the new building. Already they are busily arranging furniture in their minds and generally deciding in advance what goes where. The finished club with its all-new furnishings and gleaming equipment brings a great deal of personal satisfaction to the girls because as they look around at the club in action, everywhere there is evidence of their ideas and of activities that they have brought to life. Recreation specialists take a coffee break between sessions of a seminar where workshops are conducted. Speakers tell of programs, and ideas from other areas are exchanged. Here is a good opportunity for the newcomer to learn many things about his or her job in Vietnam. Of course, it takes administrative office work to keep a club in operation. Funds must be accounted for, supplies must be ordered, and local employees supervised. Programs often require physical production, and locally produced soldier shows require coordination with the military command. Events must be planned sufficiently in advance for all the necessary preparations to be made. Ideas for parties, tours, or other club entertainments are proposed at meetings of key personnel. Discussions resolve which ideas are best suited to the particular area.
In addition to service clubs, there's several other branches of special services here in Vietnam. One is the library program. That was the first program to come to Vietnam. It's a very active one. They have permanent libraries, also field collections and mobile facilities.
My name is Nell Strickland. I'm from West Kentucky. I've been with Special Services Program since 1955. I started working with them as a result of a recruiter coming to the library school class discussing the program with us and was very much interested in going overseas to Europe for a couple of years. But then I heard of a job in Panama with the Army Library Program, so I decided to go there. After Panama, or just prior to the completion of my contract in Panama, the program in Vietnam was beginning to grow, and so I decided to come here for a year as well. The time goes by very, very fast, and particularly if you're traveling. But I've been in Vietnam now for about 16 months. Of course, there are hazards in being in Vietnam. No one could deny this. But by and large, every measure is taken for your protection, and if you abide by the rules and regulations that are laid down for you, then you can feel fairly secure. Well, when I first arrived in country, I was told that we, of course, arrive in Saigon, and this is where the headquarters is, where you receive your briefings and your assignments. And I came over like every other librarian that has been assigned here, very anxious to get out into the field and get away from Saigon. Well, one of the things that I think that is most surprising to any librarian when she arrives in country is how well the program is established at this point. The permanent libraries, they're like any small public library you would find in the States. They have it's a cataloged collection, complete limited reference, general reading, nonfiction that is geared to the male audience. These libraries we issue only if it is going into a permanent type building and one that is air conditioned, which is usually a shock to everybody that you would find air conditioned buildings in Vietnam. But this is true. Our field libraries are made up of a balanced paperback collection, and they usually consist of about 2,400 titles. They get as much attention and selection as a permanent library basic collection would. We only have one library in country that has a librarian assigned full-time, and that is the Saigon Area Library. But other than that, our permanent libraries or field libraries are manned either by assigned enlisted or local national personnel. We're very, very sorry to have this be the case, but we just don't have the personnel to put a librarian in every library. I would say to a new librarian, you would have an opportunity to do things within the library program that you would never get to do, say, in 10 years' time.
In the entertainment program, they have USO shows as well as a very active soldier show program.
You've just seen part of a typical show performed by soldiers, which was produced and directed by the entertainment branch of Special Services. In addition, celebrity shows are scheduled by the entertainment branch in Vietnam, which lends an important hand in facilitating their travel in country and in coordinating production details. Entertainers like Georgie Jessel travel to individual performances by all kinds of Army transportation, and often the going is rough, but complaints are rare. The entertainment-hungry troops are a rewarding audience to play to, and their warm response makes the visiting player forget the rough spots. The downdraft from the chopper creates the familiar combat look as the visitors move out to the waiting ship, which will fly them to more remote locations. Top-flight entertainers such as Honorary Colonel Martha Ray are familiar figures in Vietnam. This streamlined production of Hello, Dolly brings pleasure to everyone attending. And there is always Bob Hope, chief entertainer to the American soldier through 3 wars. His shows always attract a full house. He brings along such popular figures as comedienne Phyllis Diller, singer Anita Bryant, and a real favorite of the troops, Joey Heatherton.
And the arts and crafts program that is just booming. They have multiple crafts facilities, photo shops. Some of their facilities are located within our facilities and some are located separately.
Good evening. This is Saigon, Tan Son Nhut. I'm Dennis Allen, Staff Crafts Director for Vietnam. This is the United States Army Craft Shop. These are 2 Army Crafts Directors in Vietnam. This is Suzanne LeBeau, and this is Helen Couget.
I'm Helen Couget. I'm the Area Crafts Director of 3rd Corps. I've been over here about 18 months. In 2 more months, I'm going back to the States. I've enjoyed my stay over here tremendously. It's been one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had. The first part of the job consisted of selling the program, where we had to go out and interest the commanders of the bases and installations to want a craft shop and to want a photo lab. And apparently we've been very successful about it, because now it's turned into a buyer's program. Now everybody wants a craft shop and a photo lab. And sorry to say, we don't have enough personnel to go out and take care of everybody's needs, all of their requests. We're trying to handle them in turn as they come in, and as we get supplies to take care of them. I travel a lot in my job, Yesterday, I was at Longjiao. I went up to see the 11th Armored Cavalry at Black Horse. And the day before that, I was at Long Binh. And the day before that, I was at Tay Ninh. I would say, by and large, that the crafts program can be considered a very successful program.
Suzanne LeBeau, the Arts and Crafts Director in charge of this crafts shop, encourages the men to experiment with different crafts media to find something suitable to them. Photography appeals to a substantial number of men whose interests otherwise are quite diverse. It's a means of expression, the technique of which many men can master, and yet turn to their own individual approach or field of interest. Exhibitions give the men both a goal and a deadline to spur their efforts, and the sense of competition helps to keep interest high. Whether he wins or not, the competing soldier has the satisfaction of having his work hung for all to see. The craft shop encompasses many activities. Both the materials and a place to work are provided. There's real satisfaction for a man in creating something of value with his own hands. Leatherwork is one product that is both useful and handsome. It's hard to think of a more practical skill for a man to develop than woodworking. At the crafts shop, a soldier can learn the fine points in the use of each specialized tool. Model buffs can pursue their painstaking work. Hi-fi hobbyists check out circuits. Many a soldier finds it's a lot less expensive to make jewelry than to buy it. He gets a word of advice from the Special Service Craft Director. Rock collecting is both an outdoor and indoor activity. After hiking cross-country and digging for specimens, the collector cuts and polishes his finds back at the well-equipped craft shop. Pictures or decorative patterns can be worked into the surface of leather with a hammer and special tools. Later, the leather can be made part of a useful object. The crafts director keeps a friendly eye on the work, lending encouragement and standing by to answer questions. Special services employees must develop competence in many fields and be able to communicate an enthusiasm for each. Not everyone is able to paint or sketch, but it's fun to try, and many a soldier takes a fling at it with the help of one of our people. If you have a background in art, you'll find many opportunities to heighten your own skill while teaching others.
We're here at Tan Son Nhut now, where we all arrive and depart on commercial aircraft such as this. But all the time we're in Vietnam, we're riding around on aircraft. Primarily it's helicopters. That's a very experience that the girls have. But we ride in fixed-wing aircraft too, particularly for longer distances. In addition to the helicopters, though, and those rides, there are many other interesting experiences that our girls have over here in Vietnam. I don't want you to think everything over here is just mud and dust and very hard work. We have all of that. But our girls have fun doing this, too. There's time off. They sometimes come into Saigon to shop.
It's not all work in Vietnam. We do get our time off to relax and do something we want to do. We put on our civilian clothes and go sightseeing just like any tourist. It's fun to just wander about and discover things. The more you learn about a country, the more things are opened up to you, and the more rewarding opportunities present themselves. Of course, you'd want to know where you'd be staying in Vietnam. Well, the living quarters range from trailers through modern, medium-sized cabins like this one, built of wood, neatly finished and attractively furnished, to fairly permanent wooden structures depending on the location and the extent to which it has been built up. In most instances, you have a room to yourself, sharing a bath. Generally speaking, you live with other women from the organization, but in some places you'll find women from other Army activities and from other service organizations. Light housekeeping facilities include a kitchenette for home cooking or refreshment whenever you want it. This is a typical arrangement for women's quarters, set up in a guarded area. Only those visitors you wish to see are admitted after the guard has checked with you. Men of special services live in bachelor officer quarters.
Once while they're over here, they go off on an R&R to a place such as Bangkok or Hong Kong or someplace they've dreamed of all their lives.
And who hasn't dreamed of going to Bangkok? A fascinating city in a beautiful land. The rivers of this fertile country teem with native boats plying their trades or bartering their goods. The floating markets are world famous and more than live up to everything you've ever heard about them. But not many of those who dream about it ever get to this intriguing city halfway around the world. There's no more truly exotic place on earth than the Thai temple areas with their elaborate spires, golden gods, and saffron-robed monks. It seems like another world, remote from anything in our experience. Delicate windmills stand out against the sky. Foot treadles such as have been used for countless generations interest the American visitor from a land of computers and moonshots. As you move about Thailand, one beautiful vista follows another in this country rich in water and luxurious vegetation. If you like to get back to simple, basic things, you can always grind your own grain. And elephants? Well, doesn't everybody have an elephant? If you admire fancy footwork, you'll find lots to admire in this graceful pursuit of sport. But if you crave for more excitement, there are all kinds of physical encounters, not the least of which is this battle of fighting cocks. Strange and delicately spiced foods are accompanied by equally unfamiliar music and stylized traditional dances. For those who prefer a U.S.-style vacation, the rest and relaxation program known as R&R offers flights to Hawaii. Diamond Head overlooks the action on Waikiki Beach, where the most modern American conveniences and comforts are available in this rapidly expanding vacation land. There's plenty to do at the crossroads of the Pacific.
I wish these girls could tell you in their own words, too, why they come to Vietnam. I couldn't possibly, because each has her own story.
Well, I would recommend coming over here strongly. There's a lot of responsibility behind, and you learn a lot. If you enjoy recreation, you have plenty of opportunity to put some of your ideas together and program. Now, it's good if you're a creative person, enjoy putting these programs together. And it's really not as dangerous as public opinion, tells you. And you're quite safe, and everybody respects you. You're never placed on a higher pedestal than you have been over here. You're always out in the public eye. I would do it again, and the weather is the only thing that's a little bit difficult to handle. Become prepared to fight the monsoon and then the Dust Bowl. But the fellows are very appreciative, enjoy work, lots of good times. I think it's really, really a wonderful opportunity.
Well, the only thing I can say is that a girl that's coming over here that expects to be in the limelight all the time, she most certainly will be. But as the other girls have said, sometimes this is a great disadvantage. When there are 1,000 eyes looking at you, you can be the most lonely person in the world. And one of the most wonderful things I've received from the States in a care package is this old rat-a-tat dog I've had since I've been 7 years old that I call Ginger. And it arrived to me unstuffed, and my sister had washed it for me, and the Papasan stuffed it with some
Kapok that we had over here, and it's a touch of home that means more than $1,000 to me. And at least every time I feel lonely and a little bit homesick for the States, at least I've got old Ginger there, and now she sports a dust-off patch.
I wouldn't trade this year for anything in the whole world. It's been the most interesting and exciting year I've known, and the most rewarding.
You have to come over here knowing that you're going to be giving more than you're receiving, actually. You can't come over here with a selfish attitude at all.
At the end of a year, the excitement of flying home again is tempered by the parting with so many new friends. But it's been a rich, rewarding year. You've done something of which you can be proud all your life. You've served your country well, bringing companionship and understanding to servicemen far from home, and to yourself a very special sense of satisfaction and fulfillment.